Yo, welcome back to the Nerds with Glasses podcast. I'm your host, Knowledge.
And I'm Javi. We're back with the new year. We're going to get off with a really crazy story that we were looking up. We're like, what? No way. Come on, this has to be a joke.
This is a joke.
It has to be a joke.
I mean, it happened, but the person who did it was joking.
And I bet you there was a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of like calls that did happen though.
Okay.
You know. There was a kid during the outages that happened during Christmas. Apparently, someone called 911 saying their Xbox. Like, do you know what's going on with the Xbox?
Well, actually, we'll reenact it for you guys.
Oh, okay.
You be the kid.
Okay. Hello, 911.
Yes. Is this an emergency?
Yes. Do you guys know what is going on right now with the Xbox and Live and PSN networks?
What? No.
I got an Xbox for Christmas, and for the last 3 days, I haven't been able to play. Can you guys? I heard someone got arrested. Can you please?
I think you might want to contact the fucking makers of the consoles, or maybe you might want to go outside and read a book or something.
That's what exactly, like, word for word, what they were saying.
They literally tell the kid, like, yeah, go outside and read a book. You fucking, you get this kid gives gamers a bad name. Like,
yes,
you're that. No, but you know what the funny thing is? The reason, like, I think this kid was a troll. It's a real story,
right?
But like, it's like this kid was probably a troll, just trying to troll the cops or whatever. But the reason it's funny is because it's true. Because everybody knows your one or two gamer friends who are that like desperate on Xbox Live or Steam or whatever, and that they just like freak the fuck out.
Especially with games that are online only, or not online only, but where a majority of the thing is online. Like, imagine if Halo 3 just came out right now, people are playing it, and then they get DDoS, and someone's claiming responsibility for it. How crazy do you think people would have gotten over that?
What the fuck, bro?
My rank, I was about to hit 50.
It's like, this is the most boring. Like, you just go crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But it's stupid. We just wanted to bring it up. It was just like so stupid.
I wonder how many people were that like tempted to just like pick up the phone and call something, you know? Try to find the FBI.
Who can I call to get
411?
like, please just tell me who I call to fix this shit.
Yes.
Lizard Squad, call them and beg them for mercy.
Yes. Another ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, but just
depends on how you look at it.
Yeah. Another thing that we're looking at. That's kind of like in the realm of like, why would you even consider this? Yeah. Which is a story that a former dev for Blizzard, was it?
Yeah, and WoW.
Oh, well, he worked on WoW and worked on
Diablo 3. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he said, in his opinion, that eSports can be in the Olympics. Mm-hmm. And I was like, God, just like, can I stop reading these? Like, please stop.
I mean, it's one of those things where like, why are so many people? I mean, I completely understand both sides. How people kind of want it to be. I mean, not the sports version of it, but people want it to be more respected. Yeah. And where these people that are feeling like it's trying to jump into the sports category. Yeah. Which I don't think it should at all.
It's his own thing, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, it's his own thing, period. Stop trying to conform it into some traditional way of like sports or anything else. Right. Like, it's
I remember I was just talking to you earlier about this story before we even were doing the podcast, about just like, now that they did the X Games did it, they think they can jump into every sport. Yeah. But then you brought up the argument that even X Games isn't the traditional sense of sport.
Like X Games themselves is rebels. You know, when X Games first started, maybe like 12, 15 years. I don't know how long it's been now.
It's been a while.
It's been like 15 years, but back then it was a huge deal. It was like, what the fuck? Like, they just think they can make their own Olympics. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, skating isn't a real sport. This isn't a real sport. And you know what they said? Okay, fuck you. We're gonna do our own thing. And that's exactly what esports is doing. But yet there's always this kind of push and pull where people are like, oh no, we want to get it on ESPN. No. It was like, no, dude, like, literally, if you had esports in the Olympics, they would be laughed out of the stadium. Like, because people's mentality on video games is still 20 years backwards.
Right, and it's one of those things like just I can't even imagine, like, because you know how the Olympic gets together and like decides what sports.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like they would have to get into a separate like kind of discussion about, okay, so which games are we gonna have at the Olympics?
Yeah, like are we gonna do League of Legends and Call of Duty or Counter Strike? Like,
yeah, because like, okay, we have to have Dota, but what about League of Legends? Aren't like, you know, it's like one of those things like, what?
And the worst thing is that, you know, these guys who like who pick these sports are like 80-year-old guys who would be like, yeah, can Pong be on there? You know,
I actually wouldn't mind seeing like competitive Tetris. Like, oh, that would be sick.
You're like the craziest motherfuckers. That shit's hard.
Yeah, exactly. Really at a high level, that shit's like insane.
The what's it called? John Skipper, he's the CEO at ESPN, and they asked him about it like a couple months ago about esports. Because for a while they had some on the ESPN page, they had like a MLG section, and they got a bunch of flack for that. They're like, this is not sports, this is so stupid. So they ended up taking it off. And John Skipper said, he's like, you know, esports is not a sport, it's competitions. Checkers are competition. Chess is a competition, it's not a sport. And I don't think that's that off-putting. Yeah, like I actually kind of agree with him.
I don't like the whole esports name in general.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think the sports should be there. Like,
I mean, if you want to compare it at all to any sports, the only thing you can compare it is competition and the thrive of the competitor, not the athlete. You know, it's there. Like, I don't think. I mean, they call themselves athletes, and you know, I mean, I don't know what it takes to do what they do. Yeah. Either side, you know, either side of the actual sports and then esports. So it's just one of those things where it's like, if they call themselves that, that's fine, whatever. But I think athlete is just a wrong name. Like, all these people are competitors.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think esports players even call themselves athletes or anything like that. I think what it comes down to is like literally everything between esports and sports is exactly the same except for the physical athletic part. But almost everything is the same. The level of competition, the determination you have to put in it, like the mental stability, the stamina, you know, all that stuff. You need the same thing.
You need the same kind of stuff, and obviously in different areas and whatnot. But you're definitely right. It's definitely this competitive. Like, it's one of those things where like a sport is, you know, can be played at a professional level because there's a skill gap. Yeah. Just like for example, esports, there's a pretty big skill gap. Yeah. There's some people that are just a little bit naturally good at it, but there's always that skill gap that can completely separates the professional. Yeah,
I don't give a shit how good you're at it. Every pro plays 20 hours a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
And they live, breathe, and eat this. And as you see it, especially with basketball players too, most basketball players are die hard. Like, they watch basketball, they play pickup games, they have a gym at their house, they shoot. You know what I mean? Like, they live, breathe, and eat basketball, and that's their entire life. And the ones who don't aren't great. You know, it's the same thing with this esports. It's just like the ones who really put in the time are the best ones. And the ones who do it after school for fun, or they might be naturally good.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like I'm saying, like, I guess what I meant as naturally good is like they just have the like raw talent. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, if you're a professional, you work on that raw talent. Yeah. You know what I mean? Same with a basketball player. Like, you can be the best basketball player, like, or you can play basketball extremely well, but if you don't practice and hone your skill to be like at a high level, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you can be the best kid on your block, you're not gonna it doesn't matter. You can, you know, if you're at the park, you win all these games. If you play like an actual like high level high school team example, just an example, you're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, destroyed, bro. Yeah, so I say to you, former dev of Diablo,
don't aim for the Olympics.
Yeah, like, dude, just find your own.
I would honestly like a next game style thing where it's like their own kind of like, I mean, because they already have these smaller events.
Bro, dude, you're just throwing fire today. Like, have a fucking esports Olympics.
Right, because I mean, we have Evo, which is the biggest fighting game. Yeah. We have the what is it for, like.
Well, and then for NWG. all the other games have their separate. You know, there's COD champs.
There's the World Championship for Dota.
Yeah, there's stuff like that. The what's it called? The 10 or some shit like that. Whatever.
And even the Olympics isn't necessarily the best for these certain sports.
Yeah.
For some sports, it is the best location.
Yeah.
But like for basketball, it's not the best place to go watch basketball.
Yeah.
For, you know, all these other games, it's not the best place. Even soccer, that's not the best place to go watch it.
Yeah.
It's wherever this higher level thing is, and
Yeah.
that could be the exact same thing for what's it called, eSports. They can do their own.
And I think it'd be really good to mend those, like, or build those communities together. That would be amazing.
Yeah, because NWG, they started off pretty good doing that. You know, they had a bunch of different games, and then of course they went with whatever was able, whatever was easy, not necessarily easier, but whatever was more marketable.
Yeah, I mean that's what they do every year. Like COD is there right now because they're the biggest thing for console shooters, because that's MLG has always really more been about the consoles. So whenever the next game comes, like they're gonna drop COD, and if COD stays on the top, then they're gonna keep COD.
Yeah, it's
a business. Yeah, it's a business. That's all it is. But that's the main thing. It's just exactly what you just said. Like, why don't they do their own? Exactly, do your own thing. Do something untraditional. Stop trying to box it into this traditional. It's not gonna work. People don't understand, people who don't game like that don't understand esports. They think it's the dumbest thing in the world that you sit around and watch other people play games. It's like,
yeah, they sit around watching basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it is,
you know, just to compare it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and for somebody who doesn't enjoy basketball, it's boring. You know what I mean? Like, I love basketball, so I love watching it. Baseball is like whatever to me, so most of the time I watch baseball. It's kind of boring unless I'm really invested in the team. Yeah. You know,
it's one of those things. Like, that's definitely one of the sports I think most people watch during the like World Series.
Yeah,
like even if they don't care about the game at all, they're like, oh, World Series is there.
Support. And you know, and that actually is kind of true for it, because that's when like COD Champs, like I wasn't into esports. Well, I was into like MLG, but not into COD esports. And then like COD Champs came around in Black Ops 2, and we watched it. I was like, oh shit. Like, you know, just because when you know that everything's on the line. It's the same thing with League of Legends when they had their championship. I don't watch League of Legends. I don't even know what the fuck's going on, but it was like
$20 million.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, they're playing for $1 million. Yeah, like $5 million. Like, you're hooked. You're like, wow, this is exactly why you can make game shows about people choosing random box. What's the what's the name of that game?
Deal or No Deal?
Deal or No Deal. It's like there's no strategy to the game. Like, well, there is, but it's like it's not. There's no skill really involved.
It's like, oh, like what is it? Wheel of Fortune. All those whatever. What is The Price is Right?
Yeah, it's just like if there's money involved and you just want to see if somebody's gonna win it. You know what I mean?
And then not only that, and then once you do take the time and look at like this skill, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's fucking sick.
You just press 1 million buttons in the span of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's amazing. But so speaking of untraditional things
not said in traditional order.
Yeah. This other story that we saw that really caught my eye was the Star Citizen story, where the dev said, don't expect a finish line for this game. It's not a traditional AAA game. And
this game wasn't even, I don't think it came out. Sorry, it was a crowdfunded game.
Yeah.
There was quite a bit of developers actually.
Yeah.
And from my description of it, before he even showed me any content, he said it's a flight combat simulator and space trading, which I have no idea what that means.
What the fuck that means?
But I saw the game and it doesn't look anything amazing. It looks beautiful. You're in space and controlling shit, but it didn't look like. So this is getting like a shitload of money.
Yeah, because it got, if I'm not mistaken, $68.7 million has been crowdfunded, which means not from any studio or corporation. That means us. We have funded.
Granted, not us.
Not
directly,
us. No, I have not given a dime to Star Citizen.
but like, he was. It explains that like this no finish line is that they're kind of like, the more people are playing, the more feedback they're getting, the more they work on it.
Yeah.
They don't work on it necessarily in the sense of like, you know, the whole Call of Duty formula, you know, the Activision formula, whatever it's called, where they have a game like, this is your time period, do whatever you can in that time period.
Yeah.
No, they're like, okay, so this is our idea for the game. What else do you guys want? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, what are you guys looking for? And I think that since the beginning, when I first saw the game, maybe like a year ago, and I was like, man, I looked at the footage and I was like, what? Like, people were, I'm talking about, when I say pumped, it's like World Series Game 7 hit out the ballpark. Like, a guy is walking up to his spaceship and everybody in the crowd is watching. Oh my God. Like, you know, there's like so juiced because I guess he walked a certain way that they voted on or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it amazes me that this non-traditional way that they're making this game
is doing so well.
It's doing so well. And I think that really shows that people are getting tired of the traditional way. And it's been really evident this past year, especially with Assassin's Creed being glitchy. Why is it glitchy? Because it wasn't fucking done at the time they said it was. And instead of taking their time and finishing it, they wanted to release it because it's right before Black Friday. Everybody's gonna buy the game anyway. Doesn't matter if it's broken or not. People already pre-ordered it and they just want to capitalize on the game.
Yeah.
Master Chief Collection and fucking, what was is it Drive Club on PlayStation? That shit didn't work. Like, like, there's so many games that haven't worked, and that's just the traditional way. It's like pre-order the game.
Yeah, like, you know, the business is really getting, like, that's like the whole business mentality behind it. Like, that's how it has to work. I mean, because unfortunately these developers, I mean, they don't have the money to create what they want. So, I mean, they have to work with these publishers or whatever it is, to be able to even start making this game. And I mean, if they can't finish it, I mean, I'm sure they're held liable by laws and whatever contracts they have. So it's almost like, even if they're not doing what they wanted to do, they have to do it.
Yeah, I wonder how that works. Like, if Ubisoft walks into the Ubisoft Montreal office and they're like, yeah, how's Unity done? They're
how's
like,
Unity going?
Yeah, we need like 6 more months. Like,
oh, really? You see, let's go to the back right now.
Yeah, like, let me talk to you personally.
I forget which one of you is the head. Come to the back with us.
Yeah, they come back out of the meeting and just like,
he's all beat.
Yeah, bloodied and shit. Just
so,
like,
you're the new chief director, whatever you call it.
Start burning the games.
Where's Bill?
Yeah.
Who's Bill?
Don't worry about Bill. Just start burning fucking Ubisoft. Goddamn Unity games right now. And
I mean, the more you were telling me about this game, even though at first I wasn't interested at all, like, just the more you were telling me, I was like, huh. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I wonder how many of my friends I can get to play this with me.
Well, you know what? Like, what it is, guys, if you haven't seen Star Citizen, it's actually Destiny. Like, what Destiny wants to be.
What the hype wanted it to be. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, exactly. Because there's first-person shooter aspects. There's space trading, so you get shit.
And there's space travel, which would have been amazing.
Okay, exactly, because people were like, oh, you're going to be able to travel to different planets on Destiny. It's like, yeah, but there's like a screen that takes you, you know what I mean?
You watch like a million times.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
So this actually, you can actually space travel, and it's a massive multiplayer online game. It's an MMO. It is actually what Destiny is supposed to be. Only look, Javi's starting to smile. His smile is getting bigger and bigger. It's just like, wow, this sounds like the greatest game ever. It's exactly what Destiny should have been. It doesn't have all the style that Destiny has. To me, it looks boring and bland. Like, Destiny looked flashy. Which is what it was meant to do, because you said all the hype machine that fucking created all this oh, it looks so amazing. This game, there's like no trailers for it. It's
very hard to do a crowdfunded, like, because I think, you know, people were saying, what was it, 500 million for the 10-year plan?
Yeah.
More than 75% of it went to advertising.
I know,
for
real, dude. Yeah, a lot of it went to advertising. Because I remember Bungie was like, what? We didn't spend $500 million on making Destiny? What the fuck? No way.
That's the like PR, like, here, we made a good game. We spent so much money on it.
They probably spent like fucking a case of beer and just got everybody drunk at Bungie and started making this game. No, but yeah, I mean, Star Citizen to me just represents where the industry might go in the future. I don't know if it will, because the industry has a pretty stronghold on the gaming community.
Yeah, like, and I mean, you know, that's like, if you look at everything, like, I don't have any examples because they're probably like weeded out, but it's like just the whole business thing. There's probably something better.
Yeah.
But whatever made more money and was easier to do, kind of like, you know, violently forced them out.
Kind of like in the 80s when the video game market crashed, like things are gonna change. Like Nintendo changed how the whole industry worked back then, and the whole industry has been kind of working off that same model for the past 25 years, and something might change soon because it's getting ridiculous how many broken games you're buying.
Yeah, it seems like one of those things. I remember a couple years ago I was so excited for like 100 games.
Yeah.
And now it's like, are there any games coming out?
Yeah. Where are they, man?
I find myself like, especially like on Steam, I'm buying like 5-year-old, 10-year-old games.
Yeah.
More often than I'm buying like a new AAA release.
Yeah, because you got to be careful about what you buy. You got to enjoy it. It's bad, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, new year. New movies.
New movies?
Yes.
New movies. A lot of new movies.
So we wanted to go over our favorite, like our most anticipated movie of this year. There's a lot of great ones coming out. I know Hunger Games is gonna end the series.
Right, of course.
He's like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. I haven't seen the last one. I don't know.
I think Jurassic World is coming out this year.
Yes.
While I'm not necessarily excited for it, I am definitely.
I'm ready to laugh.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
Theater. Like it's gonna look funny.
Star Wars coming out hopefully the end of the holiday year. I heard.
I'll see that when
I'll
believe it when I see
that's one of those
that.
things. Like I think they're estimating it a little bit too early.
Because they did finish filming. I remember like a couple weeks ago, but. They have to have a lot of special unless they have like 10 studios doing the special effects. Like, no way.
All right. So what is of all the movies coming out this year? What is yours?
Mine is actually Entourage.
Okay. I know you love the show.
Dude, no, I really love the show. Even though the last 2 seasons were iffy, the last season sucked. But
how many shows like?
I know, yeah.
Every last season sucks.
Yeah, every show goes on.
Unless it has one season, and then
it's Breaking Bad or Freaks and Geeks.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because they knew when they were gonna end. Yeah, no, but as the trailer looks fucking funny. Like, there's some kind of miss jokes in there that didn't make me laugh in the trailer, but. When I saw the trailer, I was just so happy to see the characters again. I was like, "Fuck yeah, drama! Let's go, E, Vince, Ari." It looks funny. I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I think that if it's successful, they'll make like one every year or something like that.
Oh, really?
Because people love the show. They really want
That's
to.
True. I even watched it during the time it was out. I didn't watch it, the whole thing, but I did follow it while it was out.
Because I was thinking like, why don't they just remake the show and do it with another set of characters, but with the same concept? Like,
because everyone would hate it at first. Like they hate everything that changes.
Yeah, but I think people would just continue watching, you know, or like change it, kind of like instead of an actor, make it a rapper with an entourage,
right?
And then do like more violent things, like kill people or something like. I don't know, like I don't know.
You just want them to continue this,
or something. It's just let's get the situation back. All right, what's your most anticipated movie?
Mine is probably going to be definitely Age of Ultron. I liked the last Avenger movies. I didn't like it as much. I mean, it was awesome, but I definitely liked the smaller, you know, build-ups to it, like you know, Captain America and Iron Man and stuff. But I did like the Avengers, and I can't wait to see what they're actually going to do. You know, this next one, this big one where they all are together again.
Yeah.
Other than that, probably Ant-Man, which I just love Paul Rudd. So
yeah, Paul Rudd is
a fucking beast.
You think is it gonna have like a funny?
They had a teaser. It literally showed nothing except the characters, like just kind of like even less than the Star Wars teaser. But I think tomorrow, the 6th, they're actually going to have a full teaser, which is also not that much, but maybe it'll give us a little bit of the tone.
Yeah, the tone. Because like it just, I don't know. I guess any of them are ridiculous. Like Spider-Man, like if you just think Spider-Man, to me, it's because it's so ingrained in us and ingrained into our culture. It doesn't sound ridiculous. But Ant-Man,
Ant-Man is definitely not as well known as like he definitely isn't one of these like super front guys at all.
Not at all. And so like when I hear it, it's just I start laughing. I'm like, Ant-Man, like, you know what I mean? But I mean, I guess technically in a world where you didn't grow up with like if you had never grown up with Batman.
Yeah,
and you heard it for the first time, you'd probably be like, "What? Like Batman?
Like the stupidest name
I know,
ever.
it's the dumbest name I ever fucking heard." You know, so I don't know, Paul Rudd and the name, I'm thinking funny.
Yeah, definitely. There's just like Guardians of the Galaxy, and then seeing Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
there's no way that movie is not gonna just be
like serious. Yeah,
that movie's not gonna be 100% serious. Yeah. I'm surprised all the other Avengers, like all the other like Phase 1 movies were actually very funny. You know what I mean? Like most of them had like. I guess you could a good mix, but they were definitely a lot funnier than I guess they should be.
Yeah,
you know, but it worked.
Humor.
Yeah, but it definitely worked. So I mean, I don't know. I don't see them going wrong at all.
I know we talked about this before, but we actually did talk about this exact thing before when DC said they didn't want any jokes.
yeah, definitely.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's what makes these other movies.
So
good,
no jokes with the Joker. Okay,
yeah,
but okay, all right. So that was my favorite. Those definitely Avengers though.
Yeah, I would have picked Avengers too. Except like if you asked me, Avengers 1, I'd give it like a B or a B plus. It was fun. It was great. Scarlett Johansson looked so hot, like 10 out of 10 hot. But the enemies were just kind of. I mean, Loki was amazing, but the enemies were.
Yeah, it would have been better like a more like Thanos, something like strong like that.
Yeah, so I mean,
presence.
I don't know, Ultron.
Like, I haven't. I know of him, but not to the extent.
Yeah, but he sounds
sounds like a beast.
Yeah, like, so like I'm hoping that
he's in the title, unlike Avengers, where it was like okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I can see it. I know I'll like it because Scarlett Johansson's in it.
Yes.
So it's just automatic like on my end. But yeah. All right. So now 2014 is done.
And we didn't get it. We forgot to do this last time.
Yeah, because we did the game. So well, this time, just give me your number one. What's the best movie of 2014?
2014. Shit. I honestly didn't watch too many movies, but I will say that I think Guardians of the Galaxy was definitely my favorite of last year.
Yeah, you loved it, huh?
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was funny.
It was.
It was good. No, it was good. It was good. It had so many little quirks. Like it hit on a lot of levels.
It hit, and it was just the right amount of weird, kind of like, especially for a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, something that kind of like they were kind of reluctant to do. It was really good that they actually didn't make it serious at all. They made it so jokey, like so non-serious at all that and it worked perfectly for me. Yeah,
it had that nice. I love when they have 80s humor.
Yeah,
like I love that. I don't know. It just works. Yeah, it works perfect. Like him having the cassette player. It's just like what the fuck. I guess that's how the story is too. Yeah. Or did they start in the 80s, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, or is that like an old?
I don't think it's that. It's super old, honestly. I don't know if it's 80s old, but I think he was set in that era. So they probably just focused more on it.
Yeah,
because that's how old he was. So they kind of like brought it along, like an 80s kid bringing it along. They didn't.
Did you cry when he said "We are Groot"?
I did. Vin Diesel has the greatest voice of all time. Yeah, he was perfect.
Why are you doing this? I was like,
the part where that really got me was when I think they were at a bar and Rocket's like, I didn't want to be made this way and whatever. It was that part really got me.
Yeah, he had like an emotional speech there, and it was just especially because it was out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was just like holy shit, especially because you see his back, just like he was just put together. It was just like, oh god.
Yeah,
he was definitely like really like even though he was such an asshole, kind of.
Yeah,
like you could totally see why.
An asshole with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
All right, for me, the best movie of the year. This is a must watch for anybody in the human race, you have to watch this movie, guys. In my opinion, it's Whiplash.
Whiplash, yes.
You have to watch Whiplash. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. You talked about it. It was one of those limited release, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not out there, like, but to me, if you've ever wanted something in your life and so badly that you're willing to sacrifice almost anything, or if you ever wanted to be great at something, this is like a must watch movie. The great thing about the movie to me too is that it's short. It's like an hour 30 minutes. You're in and you're out. It's a story about a kid who wants to be the greatest drummer to ever live, and it hits on so many points. Like, it really hits on passion and desire, and like what motivates you, and is it worth trying to be the greatest and all that type of stuff. Like that, I love movies like that because I love seeing. Although I don't have that type of singular drive, I love watching people who have.
It's one of the things that you love. Just like in anything, you just love these people that like there's so many movies similar to, like, not like that, but like in a similar sense. Like I can't think of the top of my head, but just so many movies where these guys are trying so hard at what they do.
Yeah, and
so fucking hard. And it's just a struggle, you know, that struggle.
Yeah, and then in the movie, this kid goes through a lot of shit. And at the end of the movie, a lot of people disagree with the message per se. I don't think it's a bad message. I think it's just showing you what it's really like, you know? And they're mistaking the director trying to give you a message for him just showing you, in my opinion. But anyways, I don't want to spoil the movie, so I'm not going to say too much on it. Other than Whiplash,
it might be a little bit hard to find.
if you've ever had the desire to, because not all people do. Some people are just don't give a shit, content with whatever. But like, if you ever had the desire to be the greatest, like a true desire to be the greatest at something, this is a movie you must watch. Like I said, everybody in the human race should watch this movie, in my opinion. And I've never said that about any other movie. That's how much I like this movie. Seriously, go watch it. All right, so this was our first podcast. But this was our first podcast of the year 2015. We're both kind of sick. Actually, it's Javi's birthday, so wish him happy birthday if you got all the way here.
Yesterday, yes, but yes.
Yes, whatever. Like, it's close enough.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Javi. You're now 24. Yes.
4, is it? Yes.
You're a young man, so. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.